Hello. Today we're going to talk about something fundamentally important, and that's like role knowledge and why you should try out new Pokemon. Why do I want to talk about this? Because like each Pokemon is divided into different roles where they're like really strong at. And one big part of it is like knowing what role the Pokemon belongs to. Knowing the strengths and weaknesses of each role is like one of the most important fundamental aspects you have to learn and experience for yourself. To gain this knowledge about the strengths and weaknesses of a role, it's important to try out like every role, because like testing and trying out the role for yourself makes you understand the game a bit more, like how roles work together, how they function independently, and so on. The more knowledge you have about every role and every Pokemon, the easier it is for you to find a solution later on. The thing is, like, if you know in which role the Pokemon belongs to, it's easier for you to transfer like general role knowledge into the Pokemon you wanna play, right? If you play like different Pokemon, they always have like the same strengths and weaknesses of the role they belong to, plus the Pokemon kit itself you wanna learn. So it's like 50-50, right? 50% is like role knowledge, and the other 50% is more about the kit of a Pokemon itself. The only reason I'm saying like it's 50% is like role knowledge is like really important on how to play against certain roles and how to play around certain roles. Like, to sum it up, the more Pokemon you learn, the more knowledge and tools you have at your disposal to find solutions for bigger threats. With bigger threats, I mean like new release Pokemon, which are always like really strong, right? The more Pokemon and roles you know, the easier it is for you to find solutions on how to deal with it at one point, right? So, to understand why it's important to learn every role is like, at one point, you have to fill a different role, right? To make your team composition more balanced. So in order to understand that, I'm gonna draw on paint once again. So let's write down every role. Okay, so those are the 5 roles we have. We're gonna talk about like an equal ground, alright? That means like most of months are almost at the same level. Why do I want to talk about that? It's because like on an even ground, you have to like think way more like on what role your Pokemon is gonna exceed it, right? If your Pokemon is like way ahead, your stats and your ability to kill is like re-enhanced. That's why I want to talk about everything on like an even ground. So you have this like five roles here. We have attacker, support, tank, all-rounder, and speedster. Each role has like one specific task they have to do. For example, a speedster is like really effective against like supports and attacker. Why? Speedster have like burst and mobility, right? To just like burst like squishy mons. And like the squishy targets we have are usually like attacker and supports. That's why the main priority target of like speedster are usually like these 2 roles. Because first, attacker are usually the ones who provide consistent damage, right? And supporter provide enough like buff, debuff, and heal. The moment you cut like one of these like resources, the enemy team is usually like gonna be like in a disadvantage. If you kill the attacker, like where's the damage output? If you kill the support, where's like all the heal and stuff? In order to counter this, we have the tank, who's actually the counter, alright, to a speedster. Why? A tank is usually like really tanky that the speedster can burst you, right? Because like with all the tanky stats and all the CC you have, the main thing about tank is like you're tanky and you have to, like, you can provide hard CC. So these are usually like the first counter, right? As a tank, you have to like already know what your job is gonna be. You're gonna try to prevent speedster to like attack with squishy ones with the CC and stuff you can provide. You're like the bodyguard of the squishies. Okay, so an all-rounder is always a constant threat to like an attacker or like a support, alright? Or like speedsters. Why? They just like go in, deal like tons of damage and try to like kill what's like in front of them. In order to counter that, everything which like approaches, that's why we have like something like a tank. Okay, a tank and the support, alright, combined are there to be a pillar for like the attacker. If a support and tank works together by peeling, that's what this like green sign means. So what do I mean with peeling? Peeling means like you provide enough CC, debuff, and heal, so that the attacker here can deal constant damage around everything else, alright? That's why every role is like really important. The tank and support is there to like support the attacker, so like speedster and all-rounder don't kill him, right? Because like attacker is usually like the source of DPS to deal like all the damage, right? Like the tank is like gonna tank everything which tries to come closer to the attacker. I hope this like thing makes a bit more sense, why like every role is like important. So why am I trying to like explain it? Because like if you wanna get better in this game, you have to learn like different roles and different Pokemon. Like almost every role is like essential for like proper and balanced team composition to make your life in the game like way easier. I know everyone wants to play like carry, but a good support and tank is as essential as like a good attacker, right? And like the other roles, because like the pillar of a team is usually like the tank and supports which keep the team together. If you don't have these ones, usually you're gonna make your game like way harder because you don't have a pillar of like sustainability to keep certain Pokemon alive, and that's what you kinda need. If you don't have this, then the chances of winning team fights and stuff is like really low. That's why every role in this game is like so important. The other reason why you should learn different stuff is like knowledge is key, alright? The more knowledge you have, the better it is. That's why it's important to go off your comfort zone. I always mention comfort zone because like everyone likes to stay in their bubble without gaining knowledge. And if you don't have any knowledge about anything in the game, you won't get better in general. If you want to understand Pokemon more or like why certain ones are like strong and weak, you have to like play the Pokemon yourself. At the end, you want to improve yourself. And that's what you have to do for yourself. Get your own experience, learn for yourself, and improve over time. But that's it with me. I hope I made it a bit clear, because it's sometimes a bit hard to understand. Because I think this is like fundamental knowledge you kind of need if you want to find solutions for like different problems you encounter in this game. But yeah, that's it with me. I hope you liked the video. I'm gonna see you next time. Bye. Bye bye.